Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at something we all do, like constantly,
hmm
but maybe don't always get right. Canceling and rescheduling appointments.
Yeah, that whole delicate dance. It's more than just the words, isn't it?
Totally. It's about, the social cues, the hidden meanings, all that stuff that shapes how we interact.
Absolutely. And for this deep dive, we've actually looked at a bunch of English learning resources, some really interesting transcripts in there.
Right, dialogues that show how people actually handle shifting plans in, well, real life or close to it.
Exactly.
So our mission here is to kind of cut through the noise. We want to give you the core strategies, the psychology behind it all.
Not just a vocabulary list.
Definitely not. We're aiming for that shortcut to really understanding these interactions. Might even uncover a few surprising things along the way.
Should be interesting.
Okay, so let's start with a scenario. I think this one will sound familiar. We've got Angela calling Samantha. She needs to reschedule their meeting for the afternoon. Says something like, a bit of an emergency came up. Vague, right?
Uh-huh. Classic.
But then Samantha, right away, says she can't make it either and suggests postponing.
Oh, convenient timing.
Exactly. And then later on, Angela actually spots Samantha shopping.
No.
Yeah, trying on a red leather jacket, no less.
Yeah.
So Angela realizes Samantha's can't make it was probably, well, let's call it a fake reason.
Wow. Okay, so that does make you wonder, doesn't it? How often does something come up that's maybe not quite what's implied?
Right. It feels so relatable because we've all been there, maybe on both sides. Plans change.
Definitely. It speaks volumes about those sort of unwritten social rules we follow. Why do we sometimes reach for those vague phrases?
To avoid awkwardness, save face.
Yeah, often it's about preserving the relationship, I think, making things smoother. Now, I have to say, I've never canceled a work meeting to go shopping.
Probably wise.
But Samantha's move there, it does show how sometimes these vague excuses are almost expected, or at least accepted. Better than the awkward truth sometimes.
That is so true. And it really depends on the context who you're talking to. I actually, I shifted a business meeting once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the Ecuadorian soccer team, my team, was playing in the World Cup for the first time ever.
Okay, I can see the temptation.
Right. And my boss, surprisingly, was totally fine with it. Didn't even ask why, really. Maybe he was a fan too, who knows.
Yeah, could be.
But it just shows sometimes those, let's say, less than entirely factual reasons are implicitly understood, accepted even.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Whether it's a real clash or just trying to be polite, the words we pick are so strategic in these moments.
Which brings us nicely to the language itself. Let's break down some of those key bits of vocabulary and phrases.
Good idea.
So think about Ansela's a bit of an emergency or Samantha's can't make it. They're not specific, are they?
Not at all. They're tools, ways to signal you need to reschedule. And that word reschedule, it's key because it usually means you still want to meet just later.
Right. It implies intent. Let's find another time.
Exactly. Whereas can't make it is more of a polite shutdown for that specific time. It means I cannot attend, plain and simple, but crucially, no details needed.
Which is often the whole point.
Precisely. Now compare that to, say, this thing came up.
Ah, yes, another classic.
It's also general, but it feels a bit more like something unexpected happened to you, something external.
Yeah, maybe implies it's slightly less your fault, like outside your control.
Potentially, yes. It can sometimes feel a little more justifiable, depending on how it's delivered, I suppose.
Okay, and what about postpone versus reschedule? Are they basically the same?
Often used that way, yes, but there can be a subtle difference. Postpone might sometimes suggest a longer delay.
Like kicking the can down the road?
Kind of, yeah. Or maybe delaying without setting a new time immediately. Think of the example. Since Robert is late again, we have to postpone the meeting. It implies maybe not today at all.
I see. Whereas reschedule feels more like, okay, let's look at our calendars right now.
Exactly. It usually comes with that immediate intent to find the new specific time.
Got it. And then there's inconvenience. That word pops up a lot when you're the one making the change.
It's crucial, isn't it? Acknowledging the potential disruption for the other person.
It's not just saying the word, though. It's about showing you've considered them.
Absolutely. How you offer alternatives that really shapes how your request lands. It's about showing consideration.
Mitigating the social awkwardness or cost, maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
And just quickly for less formal chats, what about what's up?
Oh, yeah. Super common.
Just hi, basically. But it sets a casual tone, doesn't it?
It does. And the standard reply, Not much or nothing is almost like a ritual.
Gets the pleasantries out of the way fast.
Exactly. So you can cut to the chase. Hey, about that meeting later.
Right. So understanding these isn't just knowing definitions, it's knowing how and when to use them strategically.
Spot on. It's social utility.
Okay, so we've seen the slightly tricky side, the white lies maybe, but the sources also show how these same tools are used with real understanding.
Empathy.
Yes, moving beyond just excuses. This is where we get into mastering the art of flexible rescheduling. It's not always about dodging.
So how do we make rescheduling less stressful? What did the sources highlight?
Well, first off, being proactive. It came up again and again, reaching out in advance.
Not 5 minutes before you're supposed to meet.
Exactly. People really appreciate that foresight. It shows respect for their time, even if you have to cancel.
Bro.
Way better than a last-minute bail or just not showing up.
Definitely. And what about when you're on the receiving end? How do you show you're okay with it?
The language of empathy. This is so important. Things like, no problem at all, or I totally understand.
Don't worry about it. Yes. These things happen. They sound simple, but they're powerful signals.
They really take the pressure off, don't they? You feel that wave of relief.
Absolutely. They diffuse the guilt the other person might be feeling. It builds trust, shows you're flexible, that you value them more than sticking rigidly to a schedule.
That makes sense. It strengthens the relationship, actually.
It really can. And often, let's be honest, rescheduling can lead to a better meeting anyway.
How so?
Well, if someone's stressed or distracted, the meeting quality suffers, right? One dialogue mentioned, we can have a more focused meeting this way.
That's a great point. Better to meet when you can actually focus. I know I've felt that trying to be present, but your mind is on that work thing that just blew up.
Exactly. I'd definitely rather meet when I can focus. That kind of sentiment. So flexibility benefits everyone.
It really is such a relief when someone gives you that flexibility,
Yeah.
especially when something genuinely urgent has come up or you're just swamped.
Mm-hmm. It taps into that shared understanding, you know? It happens to all of us.
Life just doesn't always go as planned. It's so true.
And the best approach highlighted in the materials was this idea of no pressure.
Oh, I like that part.
Yeah, like explicitly saying, hey, if things get overwhelming, just let me know. We can always reschedule again, no pressure at all.
Wow, that's fantastic. It keeps the communication open and removes all the awkwardness.
It transforms it, doesn't it, from a potential problem into just a collaborative adjustment. It shows real respect for the other person's reality.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you listening?
Well, hopefully you've seen it's not just about memorizing phrases.
Right. It's about understanding the strategies, the social cues, the psychology behind why we say what we say when plans change.
It's about feeling more confident, navigating those inevitable shifts, whether you're the one initiating.
Or the one responding. It's about being prepared, showing empathy,
Yeah.
and just having smoother, better interactions overall.
Nicely put. And maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Oh, good one. Go for it.
Think about how easy communication is now. Texts, instant calendar updates, all that.
Constant connection.
Does that connectivity, that ease, make us more honest when we reschedule? Or does it just make us more fluid, more accepting of last-minute changes? Because, hey, rearranging is just a few clicks away.
Huh. Are we more honest or just more flexible?
Yeah.
Or maybe more flaky? Interesting.
Something to ponder, anyway. How does technology shape our honesty and our expectations around time and commitments?